So let's talk about how to share and reuse SharePoint skills, what they are, how do we actually use them, how do we actually also can take advantage of the open source SharePoint skills which are available. And by the way, if you contribute, you will get a special badge with your skills as well. So, and that's definitely an option for you to take advantage. So I will do a quick demo on what are the SharePoint skills and also how do you take advantage of the existing open source skills. So how do we actually get them to your SharePoint deployment? How do we actually use the skills and all of that stuff as part of the demo on this particular demo? Yes. Cool. So first of all, Copilot in SharePoint, we're rolling out actually updates on this one right now today. So there's going to be a lot of communications and in social media with certain updates on adjustments. But basic idea on the Copilot in SharePoint is that we can turn our ideas into solutions. So you can use actually natural language to plan and build solutions in SharePoint. So you can basically say, create me a library, create me a list, create me a set of libraries as part of the skill, and then you're able to save that as a skill. And the skill is actually natural language definition, which can be then applied for Copilot using just a chat user interface. You can try business processes, so you can basically do validations and instructions on how, for example, documents should be approved in the document library and so on. And of course, as we use the Copilot in SharePoint, that does improve AI responses. So the key objective of all of this work also is that we are enriching the content with metadata and definitions, which will then make sure that the quality of the AI responses will be better directly within a Copilot. Now, we do have quite a few demos available already publicly on these things, but few things what I wanted to call out. So first of all, how do we, as we roll out the Copilot in SharePoint, it is basically this button which is loading on the screen. It will have a Copilot logo, not that kind of a logo, so that is a bit outdated picture, but we've been flipping the logo on that one in a few different ways, but it's a Copilot logo which is now rolling out. What can you do within that chat with the Copilot in SharePoint? The easiest way to do that is actually have a discussion. So you basically open up the chat and then have a discussion with Copilot and the AI on, hey, how can you help me? I have here document library, I have these kind of things, any suggestions, how can we improve things? It's a great way of actually using the AI to help you to be also more efficient. So you don't have to come up with the processes, AI can actually help you to be more efficient as well. And then super important and a super cool thing to remember is that if you're wondering, okay, so what are you capable of doing? --agent tools will actually give you the technical list of things what it's capable of doing. And this is not technical as an API calls or whatever. I'll show you that in practice in a second, but it's basically natural language operations, what the AI is capable of doing for you. For example, creating files, creating lists, moving navigations, and so on. So I'll show you that one in practice in the following slide. So let's actually then move into the demo. So first of all, a bit of a recap, what is the SharePoint agents? And also then, okay, how do we get started with the open source skills? How do we, what are those, where are they, and how do we get started with them? So let's go in here. This is my demo 26060. I can't numbers up. Math is so hard for me. Anyway, so it is a demo library which I created earlier today in a demo site. And again, using the Copilot in SharePoint is as easy as opening the chat and then telling the Copilot that, hey Copilot, how can you help me with this library? And the responses, let me zoom in a bit, the intelligence of the Copilot and AI is getting better and better and better and faster. So there's a lot of things what it's capable of actually giving to you, insights and all of that, and suggestions. For example, you could say, can you provide some suggestions for a business process adjustments with the files, and what will happen is that the Copilot in SharePoint will analyze the files in this library, and then it will start actually adjusting and suggesting you adjustments with skills and all of that stuff, which is really cool thing as well. Now, in this case, I explicitly told it to analyze the files, so it will take a while, and we're not going to wait for that discussion all the time. I wasn't planning to do that. I was planning to open up a new chat. Okay, anyway, that disconnected the thing. Anyway, The one thing what I wanted to actually call out was the -- agent tools. So this is really like a secret secret command, which will give you the insights of what are the current skills and capabilities, what the AI is capable of doing you right now. And this is an evolving set of things. And like said in the intro, if I open up the creation category, for example, I will see in natural language what are the things what the AI is capable of doing for me. For example, creating list items, creating updating a list, or creating a quick step, and so on. I can also see that it's able to delete fields and all of that. These are the actual behind the scenes technical things what is being called whenever the natural language is getting transformed for AI operations. So this is a good kind of a neat trick to know that you can always come here and have a look on, okay, so what is the possibilities, what I can do right now with the what is within this tenant, because again, we're rolling out all the time new capabilities as an option. So I can do something like generate me a HTML report on the status of the files in this library. Just watching the clock as well, because I could talk about 8 or 10 or 12 or 6 hours, 16 hours on this thing. But what's really, really cool, again, we're evolving all the time the capabilities and things what the AI is capable of doing. Right now, it is actually analyzing the files because I requested it to create me an HTML report, and then it's generating the information based on the status, and the status is the field in here. And again, this is a live demo. This is not a video, no smoke and mirrors. So this might actually take a second, but I think it's relatively fast on creating the HTML report, because now it's already analyzed what's happening. It's actually giving me the insights. I clicked, by the way, that arrow, so I'm actually able to see insights of what is it actually doing. So it's already now in the process of actually generating the HTML report. So pretty soon it will actually create me the report. Again, for example, that creation support for HTML and all of that, I can have a look on, is that available in the tools? And that is available in the tools. So it's actually capable of doing that. Okay, now it created the report and the HTML report is now generated. There it is, demo library. I didn't tell it what name it should be using, so it just randomly picked one. And I can open up the HTML report and we can see a nice report on the library situation as well. Now, something to call out here, as we use the AI in SharePoint, it is actually really smart. So we can, the skills, like somebody was saying in the chat and during the community call, that can we ask the AI to apply JSON definitions? You actually can, because the AI is capable of understanding the Chris Kent style definitions in JSON. It's capable of adjusting some of those things, at least absolutely on the library. And then it depends on what kind of skills you have installed and what kind of things you kind of give it as an input for the configuration. Cool. That's kind of the baseline on the Copilot in SharePoint. Now, in this case, what I'm going to do here as well is that we already generated the list, this kind of a report in HTML, really simple operation. But if I want this to be a repeatable process, I can say save this operation, to as a SharePoint skill for reuse. Before I actually execute that one, I want to show you something, which is if I go now on site contents on this site, we can see that in the site contents of the site, I'm kind of showcasing also how this works. We have demo library as the latest library in top, and we don't have any agent assets and so on. Now, when I actually execute that command, save that operation as a reusable skill, what will happen is that the AI understands that, hey, wait a minute, okay, so this is an operation which we want to repeat within this site or within this context. So let's actually apply this one as a reproducible and reapplicable task, which the user can then ask anytime to get executed. In this case, it's now proposing me a skill. That's the name of the skill. That's the content of the skill. A lot of information. Yeah, just save it. And I'm fine with actually getting that SharePoint skill saved within the site, and that will generate us the needed assets and folder structures. And I'll show you that one in a second. I still have plenty of time, so this is good. So So now it's actually saving the information. And again, I didn't need to understand where it's being saved and all of that, but I'll show you where it's being saved and how you can actually reuse the same skills across the sites. Now, future, right now, all of the SharePoint skills are site specific. So it is basically, if you have multiple sites, you need to copy the information and skills across the multiple sites. That is not the end goal. The end goal absolutely is that you can use the same skills in the multiple sites more efficiently. Again, this is a journey. It's going to take a while. Now let me go to the site contents. I will just create a tab. That's the site contents of the site. So behind the scenes, and I will refresh this one, and we can actually see this new folder library called Agent Assets being generated at right on this time, which is 8:53 in Pacific time on here. And if I go to the Agent Assets, I can actually see the plans folder and skills folder created. And if I go to the skills folder, I can now see the skill which it actually created for me because I told the AI to create me a skill called library status report HTML. And now this is then the natural language definition. What we are, whenever we're asking a report to get generated using the library on that particular kind of a style library, this is what the AI will then basically realize to use, and I can adjust this. The key point here is that I can actually modify this. This is a natural text. I can modify the instructions for the process easily. And that will then change the behavior whenever the skill is being applied. Okay, in this case, super simple skill. We're not doing anything super special. So again, we're not going to spend too much time on this one, but it shows you how you can create the skills, how they're being saved. And also it shows you the easiest way to get the agent assets folder to get created on the site. Cool. So how would we then use the open source assets and open source skills, or how would I actually get this skill and get it contributed to the open source? Well, first of all, getting the skill now saved outside is just nothing more than selecting the folder and then saying, hey, where do we actually download? Where do we download? There we go. And downloading that and then getting that contributed to the GitHub. So that's really, really easy. If you are familiar with the GitHub and you want to start contributing your skills directly in a GitHub site. Now, let me go then on the GitHub side of the house. So let me show you. Right now, we have a new open source SharePoint skills gallery at github.com/pmp/SharePoint skills. Super new stuff. We created this a few weeks ago. And by the way, if you are contributing a skill in here, you will get this beautiful, beautiful official Credly badge with no costs associated to that. So as long as you're signing up for the community recognition program and you contribute, you will just get this beautiful, beautiful Credly skill badge. Credly badge for your profile. Now, within this location, we already have quite a few skills available. So there are example skills, for example, for styling. Again, styling could be something like the JSON definitions for the lists and libraries. And a lot of these things actually are just the folders. How this works is, I will actually show you how this works. We have a skills folder. Underneath there, we have a set of individual skill definitions. And then this is the list styling skill. And that is the actual skill within the SharePoint. Why do we have two kind of levels of skill and with the same name? That is because we want to have a README file where we actually explicitly explain what the skill is all about. We want to explain what is the outcome of that skill and how does it actually work. And then the actual skill, which can be copied to the SharePoint, is over there. How would I actually copy that to the SharePoint? Well, that's super, super easy. I will just download the asset. I can download the assets in multiple ways from GitHub. I'm not going to walk that through right now. I can fork, I can download, I can actually go to the SharePoint skills and download the whole thing as a downloadable zip file. If nothing else, that's the most simplest way of doing things. You just download the zip file, you go to the folder structure, and then you are able to get that one list styling skill available within a SharePoint. So let's go back in here. That is the library. Let me go back in my local copy, which I downloaded the skills. How would I get the skill to be available? List styling, and I will just drag and drop. And all of a sudden, done, uploaded. And now when I actually use the agent within that site, the agent is aware of the list styling skill. So everything works on that side. So that is really, really easy way of getting the skills then contributed across the sites. And yes, again, repeating, right now the skills are site scoped and site level. We're working on a multiple different alternative ways of getting them distributed, so you don't have to copy the same skills in a multiple location. But as an example, in this site now, if I go and open up the Copilot in SharePoint, and then I say, what kind of skills do you have on this site? Well, the typo doesn't matter. That's the beauty of AI. Even though I created a typo, it doesn't actually matter, but it's able to understand the different skills. Right now, it didn't actually yet refresh with the new skill, but it is going to refresh that in any second. So it's able to see the HTML skill over there as well. So as an example, how would that work? So in this case, I do have an IT help desk library. I will show you what I have here as skills. So I've been testing this with skills from the awesome, wow, my brain is hitting blanks. Awesome skills which are available in the GitHub. So I downloaded quite a few of them, and there's a different styling things. And what are these styling things? Well, styling things are, for example, the style assets and JSON definitions on how do we style the library. So now if I apply the skill, for example, the class morphism to the library, what I actually get is a modified library definition. It could be something like blueprint. It could be like a class morphism. And me as an end user, I didn't need to know how to create this definition. We just created a skill and copied that to the site. And then when I type with the Copilot, I can say, create me this, adjust this library to look like a class morphism. And then poof, the AI is capable of actually applying the JSON definitions in it, which is really, really cool. Awesome stuff. Now, that's how all of this actually works. So it's relatively simple. It's just MD files and skill folders, so you can actually copy them over. Really, really important thing also, if you are on that side of the house that you understand how all of this works, you are actually more than happy, more than welcome to contribute on our open source skills library, which is available at github.com, PnP SharePoint skills for, URL. And again, all of the contributors will get a special patch on it. But in general, you just download the skills directly from GitHub, drop them to the right location, and Copilot in SharePoint understands how to do that. Now, quick recap on all of the different assets which are available in Copilot in the SharePoint. Today, 16th of June, we are actually rolling out new updates. The new welcome page and Copilot in SharePoint in adoption page just went live 30 minutes ago because I actually saw it there. Let me show it to you as long as I can actually find it, and then we're going to close up the call in a second. So Copilot in SharePoint, there's a new page now available which has links to the videos, guidance, tutorials, samples, all of that. So that is available. In general, there's a lot of assets available for getting started on Copilot in SharePoint. Please take advantage of them, and also contribute in open source SharePoint skills. You will get a badge. And we want to embrace all of the community participants on this side as well. But that's all we're going to do on the Copilot in SharePoint.